Do you think Coach Casey has been too patient with the young guys? Shout out to Brooks for tweeting this at me last night. I thought it was a pretty fair question. I don't think Coach Casey has been. I mean, you have to be patient with young players no matter what. I think Coach Casey, I don't want to get into the coaching things, but I do feel like attitude-wise, he's probably like the best coach I think of him as like a dad to like young kids. Like he has that level of patience you need. So I think he's done a great job in terms of being patient with young guys. There's obviously some moments like what happened on Chris Webber's birthday with the timeout called when there wasn't one called. You saw his reaction, but I feel like Coach Casey has been patient enough with the young guys. I feel like he's given them all a long leash at times, but then also he has sat them on the bench and talked to them about why, he's not playing them or, why he pulled them. Like, obviously, I don't know if he has done that, but I would think a coach would, especially with a younger team. But what about you? Do you think he's been too patient with the young guys?
Yeah, like when I saw this, I was just like, too patient. Like, do fans want us to win? Do they want us to push for the playoffs? Like, because when I saw it, I was like, what do you mean too patient? But now that you explained it a little bit, I'm like, I think what you said is, the out of bounds play, obviously, Jaden Ivey made a mistake. And I think those are the type of learning mistakes that you need to have if you're a young rebuilding team. I would like to see longer leashes with the younger guys. And I do understand he likes to have veterans out there, whether it's Ronnie Magruder, Alec Burks, Corey Joseph at times. But I think some fans, when they look at Dwane Casey, they don't understand why he's not giving all the young guys all the minutes. And I just don't think that'll ever happen with Dwane Casey as long as he's here. And that's not a shot at him. I just think he believes in his mind is if I have a veteran out there to kind of be out there and I don't want to say babysit, but that's basically what they're doing, making sure they don't make like huge mental errors. I think that he's been fair with them, like you said, when they make a really bad play, they're on the bench. But they do get to make learning mistakes. It's not like when Van Gundy was here and if Stanley Johnson made one defensive miss up, he's on the bench for 3 quarters. There's a way longer leash here. But like I said, I know a lot of fans are so anti-Casey right now. They have their pitchforks out. Anytime you mention his name, like I've literally muted the words fire, Dwane Casey, head coach, like on Twitter, because I'm just sick of having like the discussions because it's just like, what's the point of just having this discussion every day? Because you're miserable. I'm getting annoyed. I just don't care anymore.
It's funny though too, because like we're talking about like a coach, and there's not a lot of coaches in the NBA that give young guys like the leash that Coach Casey has. I mean, there were moments earlier in the season where we did question where you're like, okay, why are you playing Kojo 20 plus minutes when Jaden Ivey's sitting on the bench? I like to think it's one of those moments where even though Jaden Ivey's sitting on the bench, he's still being coached. Like he's watching the game. There's an assistant or Coach Casey in his ear talking to him, breaking it down and just showing him like, hey, this is what we want. We want you to look for. Like, I would like to think that's happening from the bench. I just don't like, I would like to think that Coach Casey's a little bit more competent than we think he is. So I think he's done a good job with the young guys. I mean, Jaden Ivey is probably an all rookie first team player this season. You know what I'm saying? Duran's looked good. I mean, some of the other young guys have looked good. We can name, I think he's definitely been patient enough with the young guys. And I think he's done a decent enough job. Like, I would hate to go back to the Stan Van Gundy era where you were right. Like Stanley Johnson made one mistake and it gets in your own head. Like you can't play perfect basketball. So to have a coach allow you to play through those mistakes, I think that's a very good thing to have, even if we're losing.